Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. Glad everybody could be with me on this good Monday. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to me on SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, and of course on YouTube. I'm on Instagram at I'm Not Repeating Myself pod, and I'm also on TikTok at I'm Not Repeating Myself pod. Hope everybody had a good weekend, man. We're going to get right into the shits, man. It was a good weekend. Had some playoff basketball, movie premieres. Got some other shit to talk about. NFL draft happening this week. We gonna get into all that a little bit later. But first up, gotta discuss it, man. Gotta discuss the GOAT, man. Michael movie premiered this week. Uh of course, they had a premiere for, a lot of the celebrities, all the actors who were part of the movie earlier in the week. But it officially dropped across the world on the 23rd, I believe, which was Thursday. Uh, Went to go see it with my mom. Me and my mom went to go see it Thursday night. I think it was Thursday night, like around 6:30. 10 out of 10 movie, man. 10 out of 10 movie, man. This movie was amazing. I already went into it. I already know the runtime was 2 hours, so I wasn't expecting it to, of course, to cover his whole story. But of course, we all know we're gonna get a part two that's gonna cover, late '80s into the '90s, 2000, and of course, ultimately when Mike passed. But this movie was 10 out of 10, man. I don't really have no complaints about this movie for real. The only thing that I really have a complaint about is probably the pacing, but it's not worth for me to dock points on it. It's really not because I know what the overall intent of the movie was. But this movie was amazing, man. Shout out to Jafar Jackson and Coleman Domingo. Listen, Coleman Domingo and Jafar Jackson each deserve awards for their roles. Like, I really felt like I was watching Joe Jackson. Coleman Domingo killed that fucking role, man. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. He killed that role. I really felt like I was watching Joe Jackson. This movie really kind of, in my opinion, this movie kind of entailed the theme of it really was Mike becoming a transcendent into his own person slash artist and becoming this big world icon and kind of separating from his father. That kind of was like the theme throughout the movie for me, which makes sense. You got to think, of course, the one of the biggest takeaways from Mike coming up early in his career was like he really didn't have a childhood. He suffered a lot of abuse from his father. He was basically controlling him every step of the way when he's a child. But when Mike starts to cross over into that thriller, that bad era, is kind of like, you know what? I'm taking the reins on this shit. This is my shit. This is my life. This is what I want to do. And they did a great job of basically showcasing that everything was really on point from the jump. Of course, you got it starts off in Gary, Indiana, 1966. They're rehearsing. They're rehearsing in the living room, and Joe is already on his shit. Joe on his shit out the gates. Joe is on his shit, and he's basically telling, "Oh, Mike, watch your feet. Mike, eye contact. Mike, da da da. Mike, go get the belt. Da da da. All that." But I think they did a great job of really focusing on, you know, kind of his story. Like, so some people may feel like the Jackson 5 could have had a little bit more highlight, but it's the Michael movie. It's the Michael movie. This is not the Jackson's American Dream that we saw back in 1992. This is not that. The movie is Michael. So people may have a little gripes because the Jackson 5 didn't get a little bit more highlight, but that's not what this movie is about. This movie is about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. So, they really didn't focus too much on the Jackson 5 as far as all the brothers. It was more so what they was doing and then Mike being in the forefront as it should be. Then you go ahead, you fast forward, to the 70s, and when they link up with Barry Gordy and Lorenz Tate did a good job of playing Barry Gordy. He wasn't in there for long, but the time that he had in there, because Barry Gordy and Michael Jackson, they had a real close relationship. They had a real close relationship, especially from a creative aspect. Like, they was on point with each other. You had the scene. And shout out to the young actor who played, 6 to 10-year-old Michael Jackson. He did a great job with this as well. Um, but when they're in the studio and he's basically showing the highs, the lows, the buttons, when all this other stuff got to do. So shout out to Lorenz Tate, man. That was fun. The little funny scene is when Joe Jackson was getting Michael ready to leave. So, all right, Michael, come on, let's go. And then he give Barry Gordy a hug, and then Barry Gordy turned like, hey, Michael, you can ask me anything at any time. So kind of shooting that Joe, man. But Then you fast forward into the late 70s. This is where we're getting into off the wall era. This is when we get into off the wall. You fast forward, you got Michael next to Quincy Jones. And, this is where it really starts. This is where you get to the meat of the movie. And this is where Michael's creative juices really, really start flowing. But at the same time, too, he's so hesitant because of his father. Again, his father and him is really the main theme of this movie. And I think that was every biopic has to have some type of theme. Every biopic has to have some type of theme. And I think them attacking the angle of Mike and his father having that back and forth and their relationship kind of being severed, due to Joe, of course. I think that was very important. Like Mike, growing up, he was a star out the gates. We seen it. They had the scene when he was a young boy and he was talking to his mother. Shout out to Nia Long for playing Katherine Jackson as well. And she was talking to him about, how's everything going to school. He's like, I don't really have friends. They really just look at me as, just like this figure. Like they take pictures of me. They don't really look at me like a real human being. And this is where you have the dynamic of Mike and his pets. You got to think Michael didn't have a normal life out the gate. You got to talk. We talking about a kid star starting out at 6 to 8 years old. So he wasn't going to school like normal. He wasn't hanging out with kids like normal. The only people he really was around was his brothers. But you got to think most of his brothers were older than him, so they really couldn't relate on that level. So this when you insert, Mike having the pets. I ain't gonna lie. The introduction to Bubbles and the scene with the llama that was hilarious. That was hilarious. But I'm glad that they made the theme of the movie of Joe and Mike having that back and forth. I think that was very important, and it really spoke because not for nothing, Joe did have a work ethic about himself. Like he wanted greatness out of them, and some of that did rub off on Michael. So I don't want to make it seem like Joe Jackson didn't contribute in no way, shape, or form. He definitely did, but at the same time, too, the abuse, the control aspect, that was very, very important to highlight because it showed how Mike was kind of somewhat insecure about his creative processes. Like he was hesitant. He was hesitant to try new shit because he kind of felt like if I didn't do this with my brothers, I'm letting my family down. And I think his father guilt tripped him on that throughout this movie about family, family, family. When essentially it was about Joe and his selfish wants and needs. That's really what it about. It really wasn't about his brothers and wanting Mike to flourish. So we get into the off the wall era, killed that shit. Jafar Jackson really, I could tell that he really studied his uncle. I could really tell that he studied his uncle. At every step, the off the wall, the thriller, even the ending with the bad, like he really mannerisms, dance steps, even some of the dance steps that wasn't really major, but you had to highlight. Like the Beat It performance at the Motown 25, down to a T. Down to the fucking T. Down to the T. Off the wall, the album cover, that shit was. It's crazy how much they made him look alike. Also, Mike went through, the whole insecurities about his face and his nose, and how he went to go to get the surgery. So Mike goes to get the surgery, and he come back home, and Joe's like, "What's up, son?" And he just freezing. Said, "Mike, what's up?" And Mike, for you turn around, he was like, "Boy, come here." And he take Mike glasses off, and he see the bandages on it, and Mike says, it helped my sinuses and stuff like that. But Mike felt like he had to be perfect. Mike felt like he had to be perfect when he was talking about it to his girl, and she was his not his girl, but it was a woman that was his friend. They sitting in his room, and she's telling I gotta be perfect. Like my face wasn't symmetrical and all this other shit. So, and we all know Mike went through a lot, especially dealing with his vitiligo and all that other stuff. But they did a good job of highlighting, Mike's insecurities, but also how his insecurities made him write songs and get into his creative bag. One of my favorite parts of this movie is the whole Beat It scene. So Mike is sitting down in the studio. He's trying to come up with, different songs to come up with for his album. And he see the news coverage about gang violence in LA. Now, I'm not going to front. When I see this scene, I know they're not about to show Mike trying to join the Crips. I know they're not about to show that, but that's not what it was. So then Mike gets his security and his team to go ahead and round up some gang members at this warehouse so they could go ahead and shoot the video for Beat It. Get there, he meets them, he greets them, and they got everybody for the Beat It music video to look just like the white guy and the black guy. You know, it was amazing how much they got all the characters on point. Nobody looked out of place. Nobody looked out of place. You didn't look at a character in this movie and say, "Oh, that's supposed to be such and such." No, that's who that's supposed to be. So that was dope as well. That was one of my favorite scenes was Beat It, man. And you know, of course, we get to Mike having to pick a name. He had his, he had his place cards on the board, and he going through names because want to be starting something. You got Beat It, you got Billie Jean, and then he finally gets to Thriller. The Thriller scene by far takes the cake in this whole shit. The way that they got that shit on point, even the way they shot the scene, because they're not shooting in the movie. They're not showing Thriller from a standpoint of us watching the actual music video. They're showing it from the standpoint of from the director's view. So you see all the directors on the side. You even see his, they flash over their security. Man, Jafar just did an amazing fucking job, man. Jafar did an amazing job. They even got the girl that was in the Thriller music video. They got her on point. Literally everything was on point about this movie. But that Thriller scene was amazing. Amazing, bro. Like the dance moves, the mannerisms. Again, Jafar didn't miss nothing. He did not miss nothing as far as embodying his uncle. He got it down to the T. He got it down to the T. And I think shout out to the director and the producers of this movie, because if their focus was going to be Joe Jackson and Michael, they had to make sure that both of those characters was on point, and both of them was on point. Both of them was on point. Like I said, Jafar and Coleman Domingo deserve awards each for their roles. Of course, you got the scene where Michael's doing the Pepsi commercial and how that affected him. Of course, his hair got set on fire. He had third-degree burns. He's in the hospital. He's talking to other burn victims in the hospital as well. And, another important scene is when him and his manager, John Branca, when they went to CBS to talk about getting his music videos on MTV. And I think that was very important to highlight too, because Michael Jackson is the first black musical artist to have his music video played on MTV. MTV would not play black artists on their channel at a time. Of course, a lot of people don't know that, but there was a time where MTV did not play black artists on their channel, and John Branca was able to, combination with John Branca and Michael Jackson, get serious to be like, hey, listen, either have Michael Jackson music video on this, or I'm pulling all your white artists. Simple as that. Like it's no discussion. So that was very dope to highlight as well. Them highlighting Mike's stardom when he crosses over into that Thriller mode. Like it was always rising, but by the time he hit Thriller, this nigga is a worldwide icon, man. It's crazy. He going outside. He got to stand on top of a limousine. There's floods of people. I mean, y'all seen the pictures. Y'all seen the pictures throughout Mike's career. Everywhere he goes, just floods of people. Didn't make sense. But I think that was dope that they highlighted that as well. But again, Michael having to, kind of be hesitant, and I'm glad, because even when he wanted to fire his dad, right? The first job that he had for John Branca was to fire his dad. And he was like, how you want me to do it? And then they cut to the scene where Joe, he's in his office. Joe is in his office, and he gets the paper and is rolling out for the facts. It's basically, hey, you're relieved of your duties. You're fired. And then one of the funniest scenes is when Mike, he's in the kitchen. He opens up the fridge. And I kind of already knew what time it was. By the time I said he going to close the fridge, and Joe going to be standing right there. Joe had to hold on to that paper for at least 48 hours, man. That paper did not leave his hand. And that scene was, it entailed the relationship between really him and Mike. Like, he could not let Mike go. He wanted to control every step of the way. And I'm glad that Michael finally had the courage enough to finally stand up to him and be like, hey, bro, listen, this is my life. I'm not a child no more. You can't dictate what I do. This is what it's going to be. Because even before, when Mike went to when he was with his label at the time, he went to his label directors and was like, yo, listen, I need you to tell Joe I'm going to do this solo album. He was always getting somebody else to do it because Mike still was intimidated. Like, he really didn't want to face him face to face. So they went and they had the conversation with Joe, and they thought it went smooth. Like, Joe sitting in his office like, all right, cool, yeah, Mike could do a solo album, but I got him from 9 to 5. So anything after that, he can go do it. So that's still him having a leash on Michael. He's really, really, really not letting him go. He's just not letting this man go. But then they get to the tour. After Mike had the burn, even crazy because when Mike got the burns, the first thing Joe asked him is he gonna perform again. My nigga, your son just got third-degree burns. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Your son just got third-degree burns, and you asking about the world tour. So Mike finishes up the tour, and then while they performing, Mike is like, listen, I want to thank y'all for coming out. It's been a great 25 years, but this is our last tour. And then they cut to Joe. Joe's like, what the fuck? Because Joe, he did the tour behind Michael's back. He done went. He done sat down with Don King. Don King's like, hey, listen, this shit can go as long as Michael there. You sure you not bullshitting me? Mike gonna be there. So Michael's like, nah, listen, I'm tired of this shit. Mike get on the stage. He dancing. He performing his last song. He's like, listen, this is the last tour. Cut to Joe. Joe kind of chasing him around the backstage. And Mike just brushes past him. And then the security is like, hey, Joe, listen, it's over. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. That's it. That's it. And I think also another dope dynamic was him and Quincy Jones, because we all know Quincy Jones was very, very major in Mike's career. Shout out to the actor for him as well. I don't know his exact name, but he did a good job of doing Quincy Jones as well, basically showing, his creative process. But man, listen, Mike came into this shit wanting to be the greatest. Wanting to be the greatest. Like, I want to have the best selling album of all time. I want to have the best tour of all time. And his work ethic embodied that. Michael lived and breathed music. Like, from the beginning, you saw that God created this man to be an entertainer. Point blank, period. He created Michael Jackson to be an entertainer, and he did it to the fullest scale. So when we get to the point where, Mike brushes past Joe, you fast forward to you get to 1988. He's performing in England. This is the bad era. And we see Mike in the back, because in the beginning of the movie, they actually show that scene when he's walking out, about to walk out to the stage, and then that's when they cut to, to go to 1966 to start the beginning. But when we get to the end, they revisit that scene, and Mike is walking out with his security, and he hyped up, and you hear the bad beat playing in the background. And man, another small detail that I appreciated about this too is also the skin complexion throughout the timeline. The skin complexion throughout the timeline was made, like, they really got it down to the T. They really got it down to the T as far as his skin complexion, how it changed throughout the time frame. But man, that bad performance, it was as far as this movie, it was Thriller, and then it was the bad performance. Like, that was, and Beat It, that he did at the Motown 25. That bad performance was crazy. Like, Jafar again, like, ended the movie on a high note, man. He killed that shit. The way he performed Human Nature as well was like, it was all like, I just have no more words, man. Jafar did his motherfucking thing with this shit, man. That bad performance was crazy, because he really, the outfits was all on point. Like, the hair, the way he would cut and look certain ways, just like Mike did. Like, it was literally like you was watching Michael Jackson. I'm not exaggerating when I say this shit. We done had a lot of people do Michael Jackson movies on a high level, on a low level. We had even motherfucking Flex Washington do Michael Jackson. But he, by far, in my opinion, showed the best version of Michael Jackson, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I cannot wait for part 2, because I know part 2, that's when we're going to cross over to Dangerous Era, the shit that he had going on, with the allegations, Invincible, all that other shit. I'm interested to see also if they, they showed a part where he actually did the, kind of like the day-to-day life series that he did, like around 02, 03, when, they was following him around and shit like that. That'd be interesting to see if they would do that. I will say I am disappointed that Janet was a part of this movie, man. I don't know what's going on with Janet as far as her, like, because she wasn't even in American Dream, and that was 1992. So I don't know what Janet has, what she got going on, but I would have loved for her to be a part of this movie, because also in part 2, they're going to have to cover Scream. Scream is one of the dopest music videos ever, and him and her being a part of that music video, I don't think you can skip over that. So I would really would love if Janet would, just be like, hey man, y'all can have my rights, do what you want to do, because you gotta highlight Scream. Scream was one of the biggest, moments I feel like in Michael Jackson's career, because he did a music video with his sister and they both went crazy on that shit. So I would love to see Janet Jackson be a part of that shit, man. But I don't know what's going on. But again, Coleman Domingo and Jafar Jackson, awards, awards, awards. Give them all the awards. Give them all the motherfucking awards. Give them all the awards. Give them all the awards because they deserve them, man. And this movie was a 10 out of 10. I am going to see it again just because it was just that great. And literally no complaints. Like if I did, like I said, it would probably be the pacing, but I went into it knowing because it's a 2 hour movie. And I already know we was gonna have a part two. So probably the jump from the 60s to the 70s probably was, people be like, all right, that's a little quick, but I understand. I understand. So again, shout out to Jafar, shout out to Coma, shout out to Nia Long, shout out to all the actors who played the brothers. It was an amazing, amazing movie, and man, that nigga just. I know Michael Jackson is watching his nephew and very, very proud, man, very, very proud. 10 out of 10, man, and shot all the reviews was some bullshit too, man. All the reviews was some bullshit. I ain't gonna spend too much time on them because it's pretty much irrelevant. But of course, prior there was some low ratings as far as I'm like, bro, there's no way this movie is going out like that, bro. Go see the movie for yourself. Even if you listening to me and you haven't seen the movie yet, I appreciate y'all, trusting my word and valuing my opinion. But still, go see it for yourself, for your opinion, and just for the simple fact of the enjoyment. If you love Michael Jackson, you're going to love this motherfucking movie, man. Straight up, man. Like again, Jafar. Flowers. Flowers on top of flowers. Next up, we had some more news happen this week. Iceman. Iceman. We finally got a release date for Iceman. We had the dope rollout with Drake. Drake, so he basically built this big ass ice sculpture of cubes. And inside that ice sculpture was a bag that had the release date for Iceman. When the ice sculpture was getting built, we didn't know where it was at. So then of course he posted on his Instagram the location on the Google Maps where it's at. And the fans showed up. They came out there with blow torches, ice picks, hammers, whatever the case may be. I thought that was a real dope rollout, man. I think that was a real dope rollout for Drake. When it comes to rollouts, though, Drake don't never miss. We just got to be honest. Like, Drake always kills his rollouts. This is dating back I would probably say since, if you're reading this, it's too late, he has always been killing his rollouts, man. So I expected nothing less. I think this was a real dope idea. Getting the fans involved. One thing I can always say about Drake, he always finds a way to get his fans involved when it comes to his rollouts. I think this is the one that probably you had the most fan involvement because, it's like, hey, go out there, get busy. So a streamer, I can't remember his name, he was able to get to the top, and they was basically hitting at it, and they was able to retrieve the bag. He get the running, he hop in the car, drive to Drake house, and he opens up the bag, and there's this big ass magazine. This magazine basically covers, all the stuff that he been talking about over the last couple of years. And then you get to the middle of the page, and there you have it, May 15th. May 15th, we will be getting Iceman. But again, shout out to Drake for this dope rollout because this rollout was dope, very creative. And again, like I said, he don't never slip when it comes down as far as, his rollouts. He always puts thought into his rollouts, the creative process. So that's one thing I will always give him as far as his rollouts. You're not going to be disappointed with his rollouts. I think, honestly, my favorite rollout of his probably was the CLB rollout when he was doing the whole Billboard thing. Hey, Nigeria, da-da-da-da. Hey, Toronto. Hey, LA. Hey, New York, such and such. Hey, Atlanta. Da-da. I think that was a real dope rollout as well. So I'm anticipating this album. I expect another great project. He's never really disappointed me as far as albums. The only album I really don't like from Drake is honestly Nevermind. I never revisited that album. But I think off the heels of course, what he's been going through the last couple of years, off the heels of the battle, he did have somewhat of a okay album with P&D last year. I think that was pretty. I think he showed out the most on that album. But as far as his album, I'm anticipating some great work. I'm anticipating some great work, some great raps. Hopefully, it's 12 to 15 tracks, but that's me, the selfish fan of me. I want 12 to 15 tracks on any album. It just, you know, that's how I always am. But I'm interested to see how he's rolling out with the producers, what features he's gonna have. And honestly, I don't even want to see a track list until the album comes out. That's the only thing. I don't really want to see a track list. Let me hear it in real time. Let me hear it in real time. That's the only request I really have. I want to hear the track list in real time. So I don't want to see a track list before the album come out. Just surprise me with it. Soon as the album drops on the 15th, I'll hear it in real time. I think with the streaming era, I think it's better for artists to put it out that way because it builds up anticipation. It builds up anticipation. We already get releases on 12 a.m. on a Friday. We don't get it on Tuesday no more. So leave us something. Leave us something to kind of want for. You get what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I would want. Like the track listing, let me just hear it in real time. But this album rollout is 10 out of 10, man. Did a great job with this album. I really like that ice sculpture concept. Of course, you got basketball teams, football teams, DoorDash and all these other corporations. They're incorporating Drake's rollout as far as what he had posted because he had 3 posts. Let me go ahead and read these real quick. Um. mhm. Oh yeah, the 3 posts, and then it has Iceman, but it has sentences, and he's basically highlighting. He got Iceman in bold lettering, so you got the I in bold lettering, the C in bold letter in dark blue. So when I call your bluff, make sure you answer me on that first ring. Please stop mistaking chat for fact, reels for reality, streaming for flow, and likes for love. Thank you. Here is something you can all criticize and pretend does not make you feel better than everything. And again, all those sentences are lined up one by one, and then he's highlighting Iceman in all those posts. If you go to his Instagram, you can see it. But yeah, man, just as far as expectations, man, listen, Drake is already solidified. So of course, anything that he's put out post, honestly, since he's been stamped to me as a legend since If You're Reading This Is Too Late. If You're Reading This Is Too Late is the album that stamped him as a legend for me. Views, great album. Uh, After that, you had More Life. More Life was cool. Scorpion, good work, good work. After that, CLB, classic, classic, classic. CLB is a classic. After that, For All the Dogs, good album. I like For All the Dogs. For All the Dogs is a good album. Of course, you had Her Loss with 21 Savage, classic, classic. I love that album, classic. And then of course you got Some Sexy Songs for You with PND, which is I don't really visit it that much. There's a few tracks on there that I really really like though. Deeper Small Town Fame is a top 5 Drake R&B record without a doubt. Um, but yeah, there's no pressure. This is not highly this is highly anticipated, but this is not highly anticipated as far as it's just like you need this one. It's not one of those. This is highly anticipated because, of course, just like J. Cole, we off the heels of the battle. We off the heels of the battle. All 3 of these niggas dropped albums all after that battle that was highly anticipated just because we wanted to hear what these niggas had to say. Posted GNX from Kendrick Lamar, classic. The Fall Off with J. Cole, cool album. It really wasn't, but I didn't have this. That wasn't a career defining album for any of these niggas. Is essentially what I'm saying. Iceman is not gonna be a career defining album for him. Like he's already stamped. It's 2026. If this was in between 2013 and 2018, yes, we have that conversation. But after 2018, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake, they're already stamped. So anything after this point is just brownie points to their resume. So this is not a career defining album for Drake at all. There's some people out there that feel like this is his most pressured album. No way it's not. No way it's not. His most anticipated album is Views and Scorpion. Views because it was off the heels of the battle and what he did with Hotline Bling and all that other stuff, the lead up to that. Views was highly, highly anticipated and promoted. Scorpion off the heels of the Pusha T beef. The Pusha T beef But you got to remember, at the beginning of 2018, we got God's plan, we got diplomatic immunity. So it was like, hey, this shit here gotta be crazy. God's plan was breaking all type of records. You know, he was doing a rollout, but then you had the beef happen in between. So we wanted to hear how Drake was gonna respond. So Views and Scorpion by far are Drake's highly most anticipated albums. It will not be Iceman. Iceman simply has anticipation because of off the heels of the battle between him and Kendrick, but this is not a career defining album. It's not a career defining album. Like I said, it's 2026. So that's just where we're at with it. But again, salute to Drake. I love the rollout. Did a great job. Drake always kills his rollout. So I'm ready for May 15th. I am 100% ready for May 15th. And I'm just expecting some dope raps, man. Some dope raps. Hopefully it's more raps than R&B. I always love, that's a selfish fan of me as well. I always love when Drake raps more than he give us the R&B tracks. But I know he's going to give us some R&B tracks. That's just what a Drake album is at this point. But if I could get that stories about my brother, that diplomatic immunity, that evil ways, that 6 p.m. in New York, all the time stamps, do not disturb, all that shit. If I could get that type of Drake, I will always be satisfied, man. So salute to Drake for that. Next up, I came across this interesting list. Complex dropped its top 100 hottest rappers. They actually got a couple lists that I want to speak about as well, but they dropped the top 100 rappers right now. Of course, I'm not gonna go through the whole 100. I'm gonna just name some standouts, and then I gotta talk about some that wasn't just that's crazy. So at 100, Lil Russell, man, please, he shouldn't even have made the list. Uh, Benny the Butcher came in at 86, Meek Mill 85. Again, this is hottest rappers right now. Freddie Gibbs came in at 73. He should be higher. The Game came in at 70, Nas 69. Lil Wayne and Ross came in at 64 and 63. Juvenile actually made this list, which is surprising. He came in at 61. French Montana came in at 49. Max B came in at 37. Shout out to Max B. He's had a dope year. Jay came in at 36. Young Thug 35. Pusha T came in at 34. Some other notables. The Baby came in at 30. That's a little high for the Baby. Lil Baby came in at 29. Lotto came in at 23. Ti 21. Ti's been having a dope year so far. That's a good spot. I'm gonna go ahead and just name off the top 25. Top 25, you got Lil Yachty, 24, Rod Wave, 23, Lotto, 21, Savage at 22, Ti 21, Doechii 20, Gunna 19, Tyler the Creator 18, ASAP Rocky 17, Playboy Cardi 16, Pooh Shiesty 15, SD Kid 14. I never heard of dude. 13 Future, Lil Uzi Vert 12, Cardi B 11, Baby Keem 10, Kanye at 9, Jay-Z at 8, Travis Scott at 7, Don Toliver 6, Yeet at 5, NBA Youngboy number 4, Kendrick Lamar 3, Drake 2, J. Cole number 1. Now this is very interesting. See, this is what I always say. The big three are already stamped. Yet and still in 2026, they still rounding out the top 3 as far as hottest rappers right now. Some may look at that as a negative. Some may look at that as a positive. But we all have been looking for who's going to be the next big 3 to carry the torch. And we haven't got it. The big 3 and still in 2026 are 3 of the hottest rappers right now. I'm not even mad. I'm not even really mad at it. I would have Don Toliver at number 4, actually, because Don Toliver has been having an amazing 2026 so far. His album is hard. But that's probably the only change I would have as far as the top 10. I'll move Don Toliver up. J. Cole being number 1, no issues with it at all. He gave us the mixtape that I love. He gave us his album that was pretty good. And then you got Drake, you got Kendrick Lamar. Listen, there's really no, you really can't be mad at this top 5. J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, NBA Youngboy, Yeet, Don Toliver, Travis Scott, Jay-Z, Kanye, Baby Keem. Jay-Z being this high only for the simple fact that, we really haven't got nothing from Jay. We really haven't got nothing from Jay. I don't know if this is because people are anticipating an album to come from him, but him being 8 is kind of high. Kanye, I get it because he just got bullied, but we really haven't got nothing from Jay-Z. We haven't even really got a feature verse. So him being at 8 is kind of odd to me. Again, I don't know if it's because people are anticipating the album. But J. Cole being number 1, I'm not mad at that at all. Like I said, I would just move Don Toliver up. But Wale not being on this list is fucking crazy. Wale not being on this list is crazy. Everything is a lot came out off the heels of I think last year going into this year, somewhere in between there. And I think he did a good. No, it actually came out like around October. He did a good job on that album. He did a good job, and a lot of people love that album actually. So Wale not being on this list is fucking insane. That's insane for Wale not to be on this list. He didn't even make the top 100, but Lil Russell did. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Wale not making this list is crazy. I don't know if you've been following rap, you know back in 2013, Wale, he threatened to come with the complex and beat some employees' ass because they left him off, some of the best albums of 2013. At that time, that was for Gifted, I believe. Yeah, that was for Gifted. And he threatened to come to the complex and, beat some employees' ass. So ever since then, I think maybe that relationship has kind of always been tarnished because of that. It's never been able to repair, so they omit him from lists. But him not being on this list is fucking crazy. Complex, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. I probably would have put the game higher because every movie needs a trailer. The original and the deluxe, fire. I still replay those. So I'm putting Game in the top 25 if I had to move him up. Rick Ross. Rick Ross, actually, he sat down with B-Dot. He said he got an album coming out soon. So I always love when Rick Ross drop because he's one of the best when it comes to this rap shit and putting out albums. He's actually in my top probably 10 to 15 of all time. I love Rick Ross. But again, I don't really have no beef with the top 10. But Wale not be on this list is fucking insane. Come on, Complex. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping, bro. Like, let's be for real, bro. Let's be for real. You can't have Lil Russell on here and not have like some of these niggas I don't even know for real. Like BK the Ruler, Chucky, you got Kevin Gates on here, Nino Pay, Earl Sweatshirt, Headband, Xavier So Bass, but you don't got Wale on here, especially off the heels of his album. Come on, man. It's a little hateration in there, man. It's a little hateration in there. But like again, I'm not really mad at this list. The only thing I would do, I'll just move Don Toliver up in the top 5. I feel like he definitely got to go over NBA YoungBoy and Yeet. That's how I feel about it. Next up, another list. So Complex also got a list for Jay-Z's 100 best songs. Now this is crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all off rip. This is kind of crazy because at 100 is Empire State of Mind, and that's insane. That's insane. Of course, I'm not gonna go through the whole 100. I'm gonna just go through the top 25. So coming in at 25 was Do It Again with Beanie Siegel and a Mill. 24, you got Allure. 23, you got Imaginary Player. That should definitely be top 10. 22, Ja Rule and the Mill, Can I Get a Banger. 21, Politics as Usual. 20, Rough Riders, Jigga My Nigga. 19, Renegade with Eminem. 18, This Can't Be Life. Coming in at 17, Brooklyn's Finest with Big. 16, Nigga What, Nigga Who, fire. 15, DMX, Jay-Z featuring DMX, Money Cash Hoes. 14, Jay-Z featuring Mary J. Blige, Can't Knock the Hustle. 13, Heart of the City, Ain't No Love. That's actually in my top 10, top 5 Jay-Z records. Number 12, Big Pimpin', of course, with UGK. Number 11, you got Intro, a million and one questions. Okay, I think I'll put that a little lower. Number 10, I Just Want to Love You, Give It to Me. Number 9, Dynasty Intro, fire. That's in my top 5 actually. Number 8, You Don't Know, of course. Number 7, Streets Is Watching. Number 6, Where I'm From. Number 5, Takeover. Come on, man, gotta have that up there. Number 4, Hard Not Life, of course. Number 3, Dead Presidents, the original and part 2. And number 2, Public Service Announcement. I get it, but I probably would have that a little lower, but I get it. That record is fucking crazy. That beat is crazy. And number 1, Can I Live? Now, if I had to name my top, it's hard to do a top 10 Jay-Z records. But if I had to do let me do a top 5. So my number 1 Jay-Z record of all time is In My Lifetime Remix. I love that record. So I would go, this is me just shooting it off the hip. So if I had to go number one, I'm going to go In My Lifetime. In My Lifetime remix. Number 2, I'm gonna go Heart of the City. Number 3, I'm gonna go. Number 3, I'm gonna go Streets is Watching. Number 4, I'm gonna go Hard Not Life. And number 5, I'm gonna go Dynasty Intro. So those would be my top 5 Jay-Z songs of all time. Number 1, In My Lifetime remix. Number 2, I'm gonna go. See. Now I gotta think again. I want to move them around. Man. This is actually tough. This is tough, man. This is hard. This is really, really hard to do. Man. I might have to shuffle that around. Okay, I got it. This how I'm gonna go. My top 5 Jay-Z records of all time. I got it now. So In My Lifetime remix, number 1. Number 2, Heart of the City. Number 3, Streets is Watching. Number 4, Hard Not Life. And 5, Dynasty Intro. That'll be my top 5 Jay-Z records. The rest, I'm gonna have to sit down, man, because it's just so tough. You really can't go wrong with it if you're a Jay-Z fan. Like, you can mix it up however you want. But that would be my consensus. That would be my top 5. It probably would change throughout history. Niggas mind change. That's how I go. But some notables outside of the top 25 that I didn't name. My first song, 39. That's crazy. I got to put that a little bit higher. Mama Loves Me, The Blueprint, 42. In My Lifetime remix came in at 43 on this list. That's fucking crazy. That is a top 10 Jay-Z song of all time. Like, come on, bro. They had some features on here. They had What We Do with Freeway at 47. Coming in at 50, you had Jay-Z with Beanie Siegel, Memphis Bleak, Freeway, 1900 Hustler. Best of Me with Maya came in at 49. Yeah, Story of OJ coming at 60. Seen It All with Jeezy, 61. 99 Problems came in at 63. 76 Coming of Age with Memphis Bleak. What's some other notables? For the Fan with Emil and Memphis Bleak came in at 80. That's a banger. It's All Right with Memphis Bleak at 89. Death of Autotune came in at 91. Yeah. Dirt Off My Shoulder came in at 92. That should be higher. That's crazy. Best of Both Worlds with R. Kelly came in at 96. And yeah, Empire State of Mind being at 100 is low as fuck. Low as hell. That was one of the biggest songs off Blueprint 3. Off GP, they got to be top 50. Maybe top 25. 100? That's kind of crazy. God Did came in at... I'm not really a big fan of that song, man. I think that song is highly overrated. Highly, highly overrated. What else? New Day with Kanye came in at 70. Money Ain't a Thing with JD came in at 74. So shout out to Complex for doing this list. I know it's hard as fuck to do a top 100 for Jay-Z records, but you know, I'm not really mad at their top 10 because again, it's hard. I mean, we talking about Jay-Z, this is arguably the GOAT. So I'm gonna go ahead and name the top 10 again. The top 10 is I Just Wanna Love You. Number 9 is Dynasty Intro. Number 8, You Don't Know. Number 7, Streets is Watching. Number 6, Where I'm From. Number 5, Takeover. Number 4, Hard Not Life. Number 3, Dead Presidents Part 1 and 2. Number 2, you have Public Service Announcement. And number 1, Can I Live? Again, my top 5 would be In My Lifetime Remix, my favorite Jay-Z record of all time. Number 2, Heart of the City. Number 3, Streets is Watching. Number 4, Hard Not Life. And number 5, Dynasty Intro. So those would be my top 5 Jay-Z records of all time, man. So salute to them for doing that because I know that was tough. I can't even do a top 10 for real. That shit is too tough. That shit is too hard. So next up, we have a David update as far as his case and what's going on. Hey man, I just seen that the United States is bringing back the firing squad. Use it for this nigga. Use it for this nigga, man. We had some new developments in this case, though. They found on this nigga's cell phone contained large amounts of child pornography, man. In a courtroom on Thursday, a prosecutor claimed that singer David, but his name is spelled D4VD, legal name David Anthony Burke, possessed a significant amount of child pornography in an iCloud storage account and on his phone. Burke has been charged with the murder, death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose decomposed body was found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer last year. He pleaded not guilty to the charges on Monday. He's being held without bond ahead of his trial. Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman made the claim that Burke's phone and iCloud account contained the child sexual abuse materials during a court proceeding to schedule a prelim hearing on the murder charges. The Los Angeles Times report she did not elaborate or provide further details about the materials. This is an open shut case, man. Like I said last week, this is an open shut case, man. Pack this nigga up, and I want to correct myself. Last week, I said he had been messing with her since she was 13 years old. Actually, he had been messing with her since she was 11 years old. Let's make it even worse. And at the time, he would have been 18, 19 years old because he is 21 himself. So yeah, man, pack this nigga up. Pack this nigga up. It's over. It's nothing really to discuss. Yeah. I don't got nothing much for that, man. This should not drag out. Let's not waste American taxpayer dollars by prolonging this case, man. Speed this shit the fuck up. Let's speed it up and get it over and done with, man. Let's get it out of here, man. Pack it up. So next up, NBA playoffs. We gotta get into the shits. It's been some wild shit going on, man. There's been some wild shit going on, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. My goodness, bro. Where the fuck do I want to start? Where do I want to start? So let me just go ahead and start off where everybody's standing at this moment. So the Pistons and Magic, Orlando leads that series 2-1. Cleveland, they currently lead 2-1. The Knicks, they tied the series up. It is 2-2. Boston leads 2-1. Spurs lead 2-1. Wemby, he's injured, but they was able to pull out a victory. The Nuggets are down 3-1. The Lakers are up 3-0, and the Thunder are up 3-0. Let me go ahead and start out with the Lakers and Rockets, because this shit here is fucking ridiculous. If you would have told me the Lakers would have been up 3-0 in the series versus the Rockets, I would have told you, nigga, you fucking insane, even with KD being hurt. But these niggas are up 3-0 against the Rockets with no Luka and no Austin Reeves, and that is fucking insane. It is fucking insane. It takes a lot for me to blame a coach. If you know me, you've been following me for all these years. I've been podcasting. You know, when it comes to sports and it comes to win-loss, I always give, when it comes to winning, I give more credit to the players. When it comes to losing, I put more accountability on the players. With this Rocket situation, is pretty much even keeled on this one. And it takes a lot for me to say that. Ime Udoka has been out-coached on levels that is fucking amazing in this series. He's sending doubles at a 41-year-old LeBron James, where the Lakers have been shooting confidently. These niggas have been fine. Goddamn, Luke Kennard, 27 points in the first game. He had another 20 in the following game. Marcus Smart shooting with high confidence. Rui Hachimura shooting with high confidence. But Ime Udoka is sending doubles at a 41-year-old LeBron James. Offensively, these niggas running around with chickens with their head cut off. Nobody could create their own shot. It's not really a lot of ball movement. Sengun, he can't make the bunnies. Now, he did have a good game 3. He bounced back from the first 2 games. But all in all, though, he has been a shell of himself. Nobody else can hit a jumper. Tyree Eason, 2-pack. Amen Thompson, when it comes to the mid-range, bro, this man is athletic. He's a slasher, but dog, develop a mid-range. Reed Shepherd, he has some of the lowest IQ I've seen for a basketball player. I'm gonna provide him a little bit of grace because he's still young, but some of this shit like doesn't make any sense. Literally does not make any. We even seen Jeff Green minutes. We seen Jeff Green minutes in this game, in this series, man. This it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Like I just can't understand how. In the last, first of all, the Rockets were up 6 with like 25 seconds to go, and they proceed to lose this game. They get the rebound. Jabari Smith Jr., he throws a terrible pass to, I believe it was Tyree Eason, but Marcus Smart is right there. He gets a steal. Goes up to shoot a 3. He gets fouled. So now they down 3. They inbound the ball. Reed Shepherd's bringing the ball up court. LeBron picks his pocket, hits the ball. Marcus Smart Marcus Smart throws it to LeBron. LeBron taps it to Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard pump fake, throws it to LeBron. LeBron pump fakes, tie the game up, hit a three. This is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And I want to salute LeBron James for having an outstanding series so far at 41 years old. Amazing. Even shout out to Bronny James. Him and Bronny had a back-to-back series. Bronny James hits a three. Then LeBron comes back down, throws an alley-oop layup to Bronny James, so salute to that. But LeBron has been amazing this playoffs at 41 years old. In Game 3, he had 29 points, 13 rebounds, highly efficient, 5 of 6 from the free throw, 10 of 22 shooting. Salute to LeBron, man. That's amazing for someone to be doing this at 41 years old. But the Rockets, they should not be down 3-0 in the series without Luka and Austin Reeves. That's just fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But it just goes like the Rockets really have no shot makers. These niggas cannot make no shots. Even at point blank range, they missing bunnies. It's just it's ridiculous for real. And I would not be surprised if Ime Udoka gets fired behind this shit. I would not be surprised if he gets fired behind this shit, bro. This does not make any sense. Literally does not make any sense. They about to get swept. And probably by the time this episode is out, they might be swept. But I would not be surprised to get swept. KD, of course, he was out Game 3. He had an ankle injury. I don't really have much for KD. This is year 18, 17 for KD. This is not no big indictment on him. If the man hurt, he hurt. I really got too much smoke for KD. But KD's Game 2 actually it wasn't all that because they had 9 turnovers. Yeah, he came back. I think he had 27 points, but he didn't have that much in the second half as well. As far as from a totality standpoint. So I don't know where the Rockets go, but I don't see Ime Udoka coming back if he gets swept. I'm sorry. And it takes a lot for me to blame the head coach for some of this shit is inexcusable. Now, at the end of Game 3, I'm not putting that on him. These are professionals. I saw Ime Udoka call out his players in the press game conference. I'm not really mad at that because at the end of the day, you should have enough IQ to know what the fuck is going on in real time. And some of those, you just do not make those mistakes as an NBA player, rookie or not. But my goodness, man, this shit here was just ridiculous, man. I don't really have much for that, man. But salute to the Lakers, man, for going up 3-0. Definitely, I did not have that happening. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. This Nuggets and Timberwolves series is a shocker. The Timberwolves are up 3-1, but I had the Nuggets winning this in 5. So I honestly, at this point in the series, I would have the Nuggets up 3-1. I would have the Nuggets up 3-1 right now. But I have to shout out the Timberwolves for just putting foot to ass in the Nuggets. It just seems like they wanted more. Even with Anthony Edwards being hurt with the bad knee. Unfortunately, they just lost Dante DiVincenzo. But Jaden McDaniels has stepped up. Julius Randle, he's kind of been okay in the series, but just from an impact standpoint, Rudy Gobert playing great defense on the Joker. Ayu Dosunmu, former Chicago Bull, had a career-high 43 points in Game 3. Willing the Timberwolves to a victory when it looked like the Nuggets was coming back to answer in Game 3. It looked like they was coming back to answer. But the Joker has been bad overall this series. Game 3 started out promising. He was highly efficient. I think he had 14 points at the half, I believe it was. But man, listen. It just didn't he just doesn't look. He's playing unacceptable. Point blank period. I think he had like 14 points or 16 points at the half. But the last time he scored a bucket in the second half, an actual field goal, was 10:30 left in the third quarter. The rest of them was free throws. He had like 4 points in the second half. 6 points in the second half. That's unacceptable. Missing layups. Not really getting no shot attempts off. That's inexcusable, especially going into a Game 3. Where you're down, Game 4, actually, when you're down 2-1. But Joker has been terrible this series. It's no excuses. Of course, I have him as top 2 player in the league. He's been doing shit at the center position that has never been done. But this series alone is just unacceptable. He's been terrible. He's been dog shit. 8 of 22 from the floor, 24 points, 0 of 3 from the 3-point. He had 15 rebounds, 9 assists, but it was non-impactful. Jamal Murray, he had 30 points, but Aaron Gordon, 9 points. Cameron Johnson, 9 points. Christian Braun, 8. I don't know what Cameron Johnson does. I'm gonna be real. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does. He can't hit a three. Tim Hardaway Jr. He can't hit a fucking three. Spencer Jones, I know he wasn't supposed to log this much minutes because of Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon's, he dealing with a calf injury. But there's no way the Nuggets should have lost this game without Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards was 1 of 8 starting this game too, so he wasn't looking too good. But he hyperextended his knee and he was out since halftime. But there's no way the Nuggets should have lost this game without Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. That's just inexcusable. But all this got to fall on the shoulders of the Joker. Point blank period. He has been terrible this series. Overall, game 1, he was pretty good, but games 2, 3, and 4, terrible. Terrible. You got to give credit to Rudy Gobert for taking on the assignment. Of course, you can't completely shut down Joker, but Rudy Gobert has been doing a great job, and it's looked like these niggas going home in 5. They may go home in 5, even without Anthony Edwards. It just seems to be like the Timberwolves wanted more, and they just simply hoeing them. That's what it really seemed like. They really just hoeing these dudes, man. It's like they don't want the smoke. It really feels like they just don't want the smoke. But Jaden McDaniel said it in a presser, basically their defense is weak. We don't really got nothing for. They don't really got nothing for us. We're not worried about them. That's really how they approaching it, man. And hey, man, it's looking like these dudes is going home. It's looking like these dudes is going home in 5 games, man. I can see them going into Denver in game 5 and handling business. Man. So that's where that's at. And salute to the Timberwolves for proving me wrong. I don't have no problem admitting I was wrong. I thought this would be a 4-1 series victory for the Nuggets. Spurs and Trailblazers. Spurs went into this game 3 without Wemby and Stephon Castle. And did this game go in overtime? No, it didn't. They handled business in regulation. Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper showed out. They showed the fuck out. Stephon Castle had 33 points. Dylan Harper had 27 points off the bench in 30 minutes. 4 or 5 from the 3-point. Stephon Castle, he was 10 to 18, 3 or 4 from the 3-point, 10, 11 free throws. So salute to the Spurs. I had this as a sweep, honestly, but they handled their business. So salute to them. They should handle the Blazers. Thunder up 3-0. SGA had a 42-point game on 83% shooting. Y'all got to stop playing with this nigga, man. Niggas be talking about this whole unethical hoop shit. Man, listen. I'm not hearing it. This nigga is just one of the smartest players this league has seen, man. That's all that matters. SGA is one of the smartest players and highly efficient players this league has seen. He had 42 points on 15 to 18 shooting. What are we talking about? That's 83% from the floor. First time somebody has scored that many points in a playoff game on 80+% shooting. First time ever. Unethical hoops my ass. Y'all niggas some haters, man. Y'all niggas don't like basketball for real, man. So shout out to SGA. I ain't got much for that. I knew that was going to be a sweep. Devin Booker has been a shell of himself, man. You got Dylan Brooks leading the team in scoring. What are we talking about, man? Come on, Devin. Come on, dog. And I'm a fan of Devin Booker, but that shit there is just inexcusable, bro. Inexcusable. But shout out to SGA. He is going to be MVP. I said he was going to be MVP. He was my MVP pick. I know Joker, he was having a great year, but this is why I have SGA as my MVP, man. 42 points on 83% shooting. Come on, man. Stop it. Pistons and Magic. Now, this year, I had this shit as a sweep. And I've been wrong so far. I got to shout out to the Orlando Magic because, man, they've had some balanced scoring. Throughout this series, man. They handled business in game 3. They went into game 1 and shocked everybody and handled business. But game 3, they was back at home because they dropped game 2. K was really pretty much doing the heavy lifting for the Pistons. That's been a theme throughout this series. It's K Cunningham and whoever else decides to show up if they want to show up. In game 3, the Orlando Magic, they handled business 113-105. Paolo Banchero, another balanced scoring game for the Magic. Pablo Banchero had 25. Franz, 17. Wendell Carter, 14. Desmond Bane, 25. Jalen Suggs, 15. Balanced scoring. Balanced scoring. As far as the Pistons, Tobias Harris, 23. Duncan Robinson, 10. Jalen Duren, 8 points. Cade Cunningham, 27. Asor Thompson, 17. Simply not enough. Hey, Jalen Duren has averaged 19 and 10. He's had a great year. I think he probably will be able to make all NBA third. But this man has been terrible throughout the series. Terrible. Point blank. 8 points. 8 points he had in game 3. I believe in game 2 he had let me see how much points he had in game 2. Game 2 he had 11. In game 1 I think he only had 9. Inexcusable from Jalen Duren. Inexcusable. He is simply getting out physical on the block. He has nothing for Wendell Carter Jr. He has nothing. Nothing. Jalen Duren has to step up. He's supposed to be the second best player on the team due to what he's done this season. Cade Cunningham should not have to score 30-plus points just for it to be a respectable game. He's not getting enough support. But a lot of people felt like going into the series, matchups made this. And I just didn't see it, but the Magic have their number. The Magic may come out victorious in this series. They may come out victorious. If they handle game 4, it's wraps. It's wraps. And it just is what it is. Sometimes the team just got your number, man. Cavaliers and Raptors, of course, James Harden, he had his annual shooting tour dates in game 3. So, of course, by the time this episode will be out, game 4 would already happen. But I'm not surprised. Should they still handle business? Yes. They should still handle business because I just simply don't believe in the Raptors. I don't believe in Scotty Barnes. I don't believe in Brandon Ingram. So the Cavs should come out victorious. Should. Knicks and Hawks. Excuse me. So, game 1, Knicks handled business 113-102. Game 2, Atlanta shocked them niggas 107-106. Game 3, they shocked them again 109-108. But game 4, Knicks put belt to ass. Them niggas went and handled business because they knew they couldn't go down 3-1 going back to the Garden. They won 114-98. Shout out to OG Anunoby, man. OG Anunoby had 22 points. I think he led the team in scoring. Karl Anthony Towns added 20. Jalen Brunson added 19. I know he left the game. He took an elbow to a face, kind of affected him. But their defense showed out this game. Shout out to Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson for handling business. The Hawks, because I had the Knicks winning this in 6. I didn't think they would be down 2-1, but I did have them winning this series in 6. But the Hawks, I just don't believe in nobody really outside of C.J. McCollum and Jalen Johnson. Now, Jalen Johnson has been pretty bad, even though the Hawks at the time was up 2-1. He's been pretty bad in this series, and I expected better. Jonathan Kuminga, I expect that from Jonathan Kuminga. They bench Rasheer. He not really getting no minutes. Muhammad Gay. But yeah, Jonathan Kuminga getting 25 minutes, scoring 10 points. That's what I expect. Like, I wasn't being tricked by his game 2 and game 3 performance. And I expect the Knicks to go back and handle business. I don't expect the Knicks to lose another game in this series. Celtics and Sixers. Celtics and Sixers, they handle business in game 3. They won 108-100. Shout out to Jason Tatum, man. Everybody knows Jason Tatum is one of my favorite players in the league. I believe Jason Tatum will go on a tear in these playoffs. Like, really remind niggas, this man is doing this off the heels. Less than a year ago, he tore his Achilles. He's doing it. So game 3, he showed the fuck out, especially in the full quarter, hitting big shots. He finished the game with 25 points, 9-17 from the field, 5-9 3-point. Shout out to Jaylen Brown too. Jaylen Brown had a good game, 25, 9-16 from the floor as well. But Jason Tatum was hitting some big shots in that fourth quarter late in the game. Big 3-pointer to pretty much seal it. But the way he's been moving, man, that is just amazing to see how Jason Tatum has been moving off this Achilles injury, man. So salute to Boston. I had them winning this in a sweep. But they're now up 2-1. I don't see them losing another game either. I don't. But yeah, man. These playoffs, we had some good games so far. Definitely had some good games so far. Definitely some shockers. Like I said, the Lakers being up 3-0, shocker. Nuggets being down 3-1, shocker. Magic being up 2-1 with a chance to go up 3-1, shocker. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy, man. That shit is fucking crazy. Next up, NFL draft. NFL draft pretty much went how I thought it would go. For Fernando Mendoza went number one to the Raiders. Number two, David Bailey went to the Jets. Jeremiah Love went number three to the Cardinals. This is where it kind of shaked up because Cardinal Tate went to the Titans. Arville Reese went to the Giants at five. The Chiefs traded up and got Mansour Delane from LSU, the top cornerback in the draft. Number seven, Sonny Styles. Number eight, Jordan Tyson to the Saints. Number nine, Spencer Fano. Francis Mugawa, the tackle from Miami, went to the Giants. So Giants pretty much, they handle business. They got their defensive player, then they got their big tackle that they needed. Caleb Downs falling down in this draft, though, was crazy. I did not expect Sonny Styles to go before Caleb Downs. I did not expect that. But Caleb Downs went to Dallas at 11. That's huge. That's huge for them. Ty Simpson shook up the draft. The Rams traded up and got him. That's funny because Sean McVay was not a fan of that pick. Even if you go listen to the call when he called, it's like, yo, let's make history, coach. Yeah, enjoy this, man. Sean McVay literally wanted to fight his GM in that press conference, bro. He did not want Ty Simpson, bro. He did not want that man. So it looked like, the GM is on another page with Sean McVay because, he loved Stafford. Stafford is coming off an MVP caliber season. And Sean McVay sent him back like, what the fuck? We wasted a first round pick on Ty Simpson. So yeah, those meetings gonna be interesting. The Jets took the tight end that I wanted, Kenyon Sadiq at 16. We took Monroe Freeling at number 19, tackle from Georgia. But I'm not really mad at that. I think my Panthers, we had we pretty much had a good draft. Let me go ahead and look at what we did as far as us. Oh, this shit acting up. All right, so we took Monroe Freeing with our first round draft pick. Next up, we took Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle from Texas Tech. We definitely need a D-line help. Chris Brazil, this is the pick that I really liked. Wide receiver for Tennessee, big body speedster. 6'4", 198 pounds. Hey, Xavier Legette, you on the clock, buddy. So it's looking like my wide receiver core would be T-Mac, Jalen Coker, Chris Brazil. I like that. We took Will Lee, the third cornerback from Texas A&M. We definitely needed some CB help. Sam Heck, the center from Kansas State. Zach Wheatley, safety from Penn State. And Jackson Kuwatch from Miami, the linebacker. If I had to give us an overall grade, I give us a B, solid B. We handled the tackle on in the first round because we do have some tackle need. We signed the tackle from Green Bay. I can't remember his name exactly right now, but we did lose somebody. Aquanu is injured as well. So we definitely handled that. We got the D lineman from Texas Tech. We needed some D help. I kind of felt like we did need to get a DE, though, because that's really our issue. We kind of got some big dogs in the middle. Of course, we got my dog Derek Brown, but we definitely need some pass rushers. So I'm interested to see how they address that as the offseason progresses. But Chris Brazil, I love that pick. That's probably my favorite pick of the night. Definitely, because, Xavier Legette has been driving me up a wall, man. That nigga, man, he can't seem to get right, man. But if I had to give us an overall grade, I give us a B, man. So shout out to my Panthers, man, for handling business, man, on that front. Really no other surprise as far as that. The draft went how it was supposed to go as far as the top 10. Like I said, the biggest shocker of the night was Ty Simpson going and Caleb Downs dropping down to Dallas. That was a huge pickup for Dallas, man. That was a huge pickup for Dallas. Huge pickup. But everything else pretty much failed how it was supposed to go, man. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got for this week's show. Again, I want to thank y'all for tapping in with me, checking in with me per usual. Again, make sure y'all getting out here, y'all pursuing y'all goals, y'all not procrastinating, you handling your business. Don't let a bad day or bad week stop your progress. Keep your head down and keep pushing. Get your ass in that gym. Get your lazy, funky asses in that gym. And ultimately be safe. So like I said every week, man, this is I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. I'm out.